We are back with episode 11 of Chaotic Exposure. What is going on, guys? Neal's doing a little chair dance.
Mm, 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 mm. Can I just talk about how aggressive
What's
Craig is when he comes in? It's a little
Yes.
stressful, and I'm glad Chris noticed it last episode. How
Yeah.
aggressive Craig was, and I know someone else cared enough to notice those eyeballs that just come in for recording.
Yeah. So just,
I don't think people want to hear about Craig.
I don't know if we've said Craig is our bot that records our audio, but his picture, we'll have to share it on our Twitter. His picture is like hella aggressive. He looks like he's judging you and can look into your soul. Like you feel self-conscious.
I don't like him.
But I need a shot drastically today, so can we let's do it? I don't even care if you have one. Neal looks like he doesn't even have one. Is that your shot?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, well, I'm taking one. You guys can catch up or not.
Dragon went smaller this time.
It's been burning holes in him.
Oh my gosh. Chris last week it didn't land like it should have. It deserved way more laughter. Was talking about Dragon, how most people have 10 steps to recovery.
Mm-hmm.
But Dragon is 10 steps to alcoholism with this show.
Yeah.
That was a big shot.
I think it's funny how we
It's
started
10
it,
steps.
just like one episode we decided to do shots, and now it's like our thing that every time.
I'm out of alcohol. It's a problem.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
been 11 episodes, and I think I have a quarter left on that big fireball.
It's felt like about a bajillion years since we've recorded.
It
Kristen.
does.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What are we doing?
Recording an episode, bud.
Oh, okay.
It's typical
Yeah.
Dragon that just has no clue what's happening. How many times do me and Neal have these conversations, and then Dragon pops in like, "What's going on? What are we doing?" And we have to repeat everything again, like he's 5.
Well, I had the flu, and like the last time my brain cells almost died.
Yeah, why did you not go to the doctor? Okay. Not only this. Okay, so you had the flu. You were running 103 to 104 degree temperature. And yet somehow you were still going to work. Let me tell you, I had the flu this year.
Yeah,
It put me in the bed. I couldn't move.
me too. I had to like force myself to move.
That's not
It's
safe,
man flu.
especially.
There's a difference. Men get different types of flus. Most men get the man flu. You know, like the flu where like they moan when they go to reach for the remote because they're dying and nothing can save them.
Yeah.
And then there's other men like Dragon that are like, you know what?
Yeah, but that's not
Yeah.
even like safe though. Like when you
Well,
have
No,
that
it's
kind of-
not.
At least I work alone, and no one saw me crying. So.
Aw. Poor Dragon. Oh, can I tell you what I learned that I'll probably like get laughed at for? But I did not know this. You know your MetaMask wallet, as it's connected to OpenSea on your desktop, you go to like connect to get into your wallet. Did you know that the little fox follows your mouse cursor?
Nope.
Like when you go to connect and you've got your mouse, the little head follows your mouse. So
What?
I'm not gonna say how long I spent playing with that little fox head and my cursor, but it does.
I
So
wanna
next
go
time
play with them right now.
yeah, I like had him head bopping and like side eyeing and dancing. I'm like, I literally have spent like 2 minutes playing with this thing, but I never noticed it.
So I think this is a good moment to just shout out my sister Amanda, who started listening to our podcast,
Oof.
which I did
I'm
not.
so sorry.
I know. I didn't. I was not aware that anyone in my life even knew this existed. And she lives in Alabama, and her husband follows me on Twitter, and so it kind of was like a revelation to her. And she's not an NFT person, and so shout out to her. Thank you for listening.
We should have
Please-
her on. I have
Wow.
questions.
No.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea.
Call me,
That's-
Amanda. We can
no.
have conversations. I have many questions about little
Oh,
Neal
no.
growing up and what he was like.
Or just
This is
send us an
about it.
email or something. A
Yeah,
DM.
we can do that. I mean, she
Oh
can
my
find
God.
us
Just all the
easy on
embarrassing
Twitter.
stories.
Oh yeah,
Everything.
pictures
Well,
too. Let's get the
The
pictures.
reason the reason I brought this up was not for that.
Not for this
And
reason.
please don't do that. But for those that maybe listen that don't know, um, MetaMask is a wallet. It's an app you can download on your phone or on your Chrome and it is the thing you use to be able to put Ethereum somewhere that you can then use, like on OpenSea or minting dApps to mint NFTs like we do. So I feel like, I don't want to be over the top with education, but MetaMask is, all three of us use that. There are other apps as well, but MetaMask works really well with Google Chrome. And so I think all three of us do the same thing. But for what it's worth, MetaMask, it's a wallet where you can hold your crypto in it and buy NFTs. The end. Connecting to OpenSea.
Like
I
you're
just
in a wind
opened.
tunnel.
What?
Why does it sound like you're in a wind tunnel? Are you moving your microphone around?
I was. Does it still sound like that or no?
Stop that.
Sorry. But I just opened my wallet, Whiskey, and I got to tell you, like, I didn't do anything.
On your desktop?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yours sucks because mine does it and it's amazing.
So-
Dragon needs to try. Everyone that's
I-
listening is gonna go and play with their little like box head on their wallet now to see.
Did you guys ever play
Let me
Mario
bring
and Nintendo 64? Mario 64?
I don't
Did you guys
remember
play
that
that
far
game?
back.
We're not that old.
Yes, you are. The
No.
the very beginning of the game, you could grab Mario's face and that you could like move his ear or his nose or his mouth
Ew,
and let
gross.
it go, and it would like jiggle.
Ew, no, I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
That was like my favorite part of the whole game. Was just the beginning. Grab
Weirdo.
before you hit start, you could just grab his face and like let it go. That's what
Mine
that makes me
doesn't
think
have
of.
the box.
Unbelievable. Whiskey's lying.
We're still on the
Fudding
I'm
whiskey.
not lying. I'm gonna record it. Somebody that's listening better try it and at least back me up because I swear it.
Well,
Um,
we call shenanigans on the whole.
Um,
Happy New Year.
so happy New Year to you
Oh
guys.
yeah, Happy New Year.
My year started off the same as every other year. That's why I don't make resolutions. It just
That's
nothing
sad.
exciting. Same old stuff.
Yeah, me too.
New year, same whiskey.
Yeah. You know what I do though? I will say this. There's 2 times a year that I talked about this already with It's a Wonderful Life, but like there's 2 times a year I just feel like I kind of hear I would say hear the Lord because I'm a Christian, and also hear my own self the best. August and Christmas Eve. Like I don't know why, but August has always felt more like January to me. It's always felt like more of a new year. I think that's like growing up, going to school every year in the fall. It's just for whatever reason that just feels like the new beginnings. Like summer's done, the seasons are changing. It just feels new.
Yeah.
And but I will say the one thing that does feel every year I feel the same way. I'm like I'm gonna read more. I always pick up a book because I just like
It's
reading
the
and I
biggest
never do
lie I
it.
tell myself.
I love to read, and we're in this space. Like the thing about cryptocurrency and NFTs is it's just so loaded, right? And we all kind of work in a space with the podcast and projects and all the things that we do, and it's just like you can lose your life quickly on top of jobs and kids and family and all of that. Like it just sucks you in, and so like a month will pass it's felt like a year and I've done no reading, and that just breaks my heart every time. Yeah. Whiskey, you just showed me what you had and now I feel hungry.
I needed caffeine. I took Ford a walk today because it's like 60 degrees and sunny, and my morning was just like DM after DM after ping after Neal giving me middle fingers.
I hate you.
So I took him a walk. I need to share the picture of him when he takes walks though, because he's like a shit show. It's like he probably should have gone to dog training when he was a puppy, but I'm like, nah, I got this. I've had dogs all my life. I can do it. And he's super smart, but when it comes to walks, I mean, it's like that gif of that old lady with that Great Dane that like the Great Dane takes off and the old lady gets like thrown. He's a hot mess, like jumps in the air and like tries to spin as you're walking. It's nuts. So we did that today.
Does he like try to commit suicide Like try to chase the cars driving by?
No, but I don't. I take him over. Like he jumps in my SUV and we like drive down to this like pond. And it's like this huge walking path around this pond. So there's not really any cars that really. I actually don't like walking him around our neighborhood because I feel like there's gonna be a dog that he sees and he'll just drag me down.
Hey, Misfits had some cool stuff happen today.
Yes, we've had a lot of exciting stuff happen. We
And
had
oh yeah, the review.
like we
I'm
haven't
sorry.
even gotten to talk about like everything that's been going on. Like I
Yeah,
feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
Misfits deserve like this huge, massive shout out. Like
yeah.
I mean, Alex and
Mm-hmm.
Tom, we know that they've been like so swamped and busy with everything behind the scenes. And it's easy on the other side of things to be like, seriously, what's taking so long? What are they doing? All this stuff, like it's been forever. But then when we had the reveal and you start seeing all the images come out and all the traits and all, I mean, like I was like mind blown. I just could not stop staring. I spent like the entire week looking at all the traits. I still feel like I need to go back and look. I just was blown away by this whole new phase. I mean, it just oh
Yep.
my gosh, it was so good. So we
They
had
did amazing.
that. And
Yeah. So
then
and that's it. That's it for the Misfits. Like they're
yeah,
done.
no more. I mean, yeah, you can't mint anymore. OpenSea has enough that you can like buy secondary from.
But you're not minting anymore.
No, but for people that want to get in that are listening that like miss the boat, there's opportunities to like buy secondary and stuff. But it's funny because when you go and look, you can tell the difference between phase 1 and phase 2 on the
Yeah.
Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just went so hard on phase 2 that I'm just like, oh, God, they look like, did you
And I
notice
just will
no
say,
one was selling any? There was like one. No one wants to sell their new ones because they're so good.
I will say there was two notable characters that had a very big differences, both positive
Yes.
and negative, and in phase 1 for phase 2.
Uh-huh.
And that's one. Baz got an extremely awesome upgrade.
Yes.
There's 5 characters. There's 5 Misfits that make up the story that's being created. Baz is one of them, and he was the goofiest in phase 1. Just straight up, like he, no. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to. I'm not. I love the Misfits. I have a lot of them. I'm all in. Literally,
He's been on
I'm
the
all in.
floor this whole time, so that
Yeah.
goes to show like
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's not me being negative. He just was the goofiest one. Well, he is no longer the goofiest one at all.
No, he's got some
Now it's Trip.
amazing traits.
No, it's not Trip.
It's
Then
Dex. It's freaking Dex. I'm
It's
so
Dex.
pissed. I seriously don't understand why. I feel like Alex does it on purpose because he knows that it's gonna like piss me off. But he gave him the worst mouth expressions. Like one looks like a gummy grandpa, and I'm pissed. I just feel like he completely shafted Dex this time, and I am not here for it.
So
It
this
ju-
phase,
ugh.
Dex went down a notch.
He
I mean,
did.
significant.
Yeah.
It was a hard. He has some really good ones. Don't get me wrong, like in this
Yeah.
phase, but he's also got some really bad ones. Not bad ones. That's not the way to say it. Just
No, they're pretty bad. Like I genuinely feel like I need to text Alex and be like, "What was your mindset? Like what was going through your head when you thought this would be a good idea?" Because moving forward, let's not get back into that mindset. Like I don't want gummy villains.
we'll just say this, like Patty, if you're listening, why won't you trade me? Just trade me. We have the same
Just
one, just different characters. All
Help
right.
Neal out.
What do you
Just
want to
trade me.
trade?
So you know that Izzy you have that's all like mechanical, like that is in the outfit like a Power Ranger.
Oh
Almost.
yeah. The
I have the
mecha.
Trixie, the mecha. I have the Trixie mecha. He has the Trip mecha. I'm just begging him, like, come on, Patty, just trade me the Trixie for Trip. So we there's teams in the Misfits community, and out of the 5 characters, we all pick teams, and I'm Team Trip, so I'm trying to collect trips. Shout out to Whiskey for an awesome trade already, but I have some fire trips, and I'm trying to get all of them because I just love Trip. And then, unfortunately, Whiskey
You
fan of
haven't
the
even
drunken
asked me
monkey.
about my moto trip.
Wait, I want to
That's
say,
kind of messed
unfortunately,
up.
whiskey what?
His
Unfortunately,
team
whiskey.
decks.
Yes, but if I was team Trip, I would not have traded you that fire trip. So there's
wouldn't have.
pros and cons to every which
Sure.
way.
And then Izzy, who is by far the best female,
Yes.
is that's Dragon. I mean, Dragon, if you want to trade, I'm all about it. I just don't want to come after your dope trip. That's all.
He's like, no, I'm good. I wouldn't
You
trade
also
him
were
either.
sick. You were also sick, so I was giving you space. I wasn't trying to be annoying.
Me and Neal went hard the next morning. We both were in
Yeah, we did.
Discord. We're like looking at each other's wallets and trading, and I'm like, we need to get this done before people come to us and start trying to offer stuff.
Yeah. I got one trade I wasn't really happy with. I'm not going to say. I really liked the trip that I got, but it just sometimes you do a trade and it just hurts. You know what I mean? Like you're getting what you want, but you're losing a lot too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monster decks.
Yeah.
Oh, poor
That
Dragon.
was horrible.
He just hasn't recovered from that one. But then when I see it used on like when Chris shared the sneak peek, I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. But then I felt a little bad for Dragon.
He deserves it.
There's more than just that going on in the Misfits world though, and I feel like we should just chat about it. Go ahead. What else
villains?
besides reveal? Yeah.
Yes.
The villains.
So like our first, technically, kind of like DAO vote that like holders are able to have a say in the 5th villain of the story.
Ooh.
And I'm a little excited. It was holders could submit their own villain, like an image, name, backstory. We had 11 submissions, and we went through and created everything for people to go in and vote, and I'm excited. I hope that it's to where people realize it's more than just the prize money you get. Like, you know, everyone submits for their own reasons, and that's fine. But like, I know for me, I want to see something that is people connect to and really look at it and go like, I think that's why we made it anonymous too, is you don't know who submitted stuff, so you want to go in and just genuinely pick something you connect to. And there's a wide range of villains that were submitted, so it's going to be interesting in a week's time to see what everyone's interested.
So I have the most I can say here because I'm not a part of the team. I didn't submit anything, and I also don't care because people can get mad at me all day, and that's fine. But so just for a little bit of clarity, because now I kind of always think about my sister when we're talking, like it's messing with me mentally. A DAO is a way NFT projects can choose to formulate their community, and by holding our NFTs, we now get to vote on things for the project. The very first thing we ever get to do is decide out of the 5 villains, the 5th one, like Whiskey said. You explained it well, but just to back it up a step and explain it in detail, we are a DAO, and we're going to be a DAO as things develop. And this is our first kind of thing, is deciding on the 5th character. So I agree with you 100%. The name, there's one villain that's submitted out of the 11 that are, and her name's Raven, but in Star Wars there's a character called Revan, and he's just everything to me. I've read his books in the Old Republic so many times, and I just really love her and want to see her in the story because it just feels like my childhood coming to the manga. And I can share my opinion because I
voted for her also.
Yeah,
but also we need a more chick villains. I'd rather see a chick villain than a guy villain.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a lot of good ones submitted. I'm not trying to say, and it's
I mean, everyone's allowed to have their own opinions, and that's what this is all about. It's but I'm kind of interested too because there's so many personalities when it comes to this that it's not always going to be a smooth voting process. There's always going to be some that just don't like how things are handled, and I am here to tell you will always be done as fair as possible.
Yeah,
I
and I
feel
think you
like
guys have done a really good job because
yeah,
I don't know
I feel
who
like that
submitted
too.
what, and you
Yeah.
can't vote for yourself,
Hmm.
and it's just fair. It's just like, hey, we're gonna really get a pulse on what the community sees from these,
Right.
and you might think my villain is the one I want, and that makes sense to me. But if it's truly the best one, we're all gonna think so.
Right.
And Raven's the best one.
So I I follow this Uber facts on Twitter, and sometimes it's like disturbing facts. There's times where like they say stuff and it kind of like grosses you out to where you feel like you're scarred for life because you know it now. Um, but then sometimes like they're hilarious and I'm intrigued. So one the other day said that cows kill more people every year than sharks. So like cow tipping is legit a dangerous sport. Cows.
It's also cruel, by the way.
What happens to where cows are more deadly than sharks? Doesn't that make you think like what are you doing with those
You know
with
what it
those
really
cows?
does? It makes me just hate humanity a little more.
Yeah. Which my mind doesn't stop there. I continue to like think
Yeah,
about this and
exactly.
then I
Yeah.
move to the next thing and then I think so far that I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get to this thought process? Because you just spiraled. But like
Yeah.
it brings up another point. Are you an ocean person or a pool person?
Can I tell you just very plainly that I am a hot tub person? I'm
That was
neither.
not an option, but I
But
appreciate
I'm
the
not.
effort.
I'm a hot tub person. I don't want to go in a pool. I don't want to go in the ocean. I want to be
Even
in a
if it's
hot
like
tub.
95 degrees and it's hot out, you're like, I want to go cook in a hot tub instead of
Yeah.
lay into a.
To be fair, like it really is for a good reason, but yes. If
Okay.
the pool is climate controlled or if the water is shallow and warm, then sure.
You know, you give Dragon and I an awful lot of shit for having bougie dogs, but you are pretty bougie, sir. I mean, you really do come at us hard, and then you speak, and you're like, okay, um,
I can't swim on open waters, no matter what. I'm never gonna be swimming where there's giant things underwater.
see, that's
Meg.
the part that like creeps me out. Like, you know, as a kid, you're ignorant to it. You know sharks exist, but you don't genuinely think about the creatures that are in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Like,
We know more about space than deep sea.
No,
I'm
you know,
okay with that.
there's underwater welders that like work on dams and stuff that quit because of seeing giant things down there.
It's scary.
There's a lot of people that quit right away.
Yeah.
That's actually
And
one of the careers I looked at doing when I was a kid.
yeah, me
Because
too.
I'm from Mississippi on the Gulf Coast, and it's like a major industry is underwater welding, and the
Mhm.
like depression rates and drug use rates and all of that. Like it's crazy, dude. Like it's a crazy industry.
So I spent every summer as a kid going. We had like this beach, and then I spent like 11 years being like 10 minutes or less from the beach. So I was always like, I mean, we were at the beach like every day. But I think as I got older and you start to realize what's in the ocean, and then I also got stung by a jellyfish a few years ago, which was fun. Um, so that probably made me more aware of what was in the ocean.
I
And
got stung as a kid.
I know that people are gonna be like, "Did you pee on it?" No, I did not have to do that. That's not accurate. You don't have to do that. And it was on my hip, so logistics wise, it wouldn't have worked any. Um,
I mean,
but I'm fairly
A for effort.
certain, right? Have some like exorcist moves to try to help my burn. That hurt too. Like it hurt for a really long
Yeah.
time. That sucked.
I've
But
been
I'm
stung by
fairly
jellyfish.
certain. I'm certain that I would scream the same way if I saw a clown that I do when like seaweed touches my leg in the ocean. Like you know that there's some creepy stuff in there, and if seaweed touches my leg, like I'm done. Like it's
Down in-
shark. There is something getting me, and I like fly out of the water. It's just not
Down
worth
in
it.
Same. Yeah.
Down in Mississippi, there's like ponds, right? People have ponds in their property, not lakes. They're just kind of ponds. I don't know how else to
Mhm.
explain it, but like, and a lot of times there's fish, whether they stocked it or otherwise.
Mhm.
And in those ponds, when you're swimming in them, like if you sit still long enough, the little bluegills and stuff, they're just comfortable with people enough to just take little bites out of you. So they'll just ring up and just kind of pinch you. with their mouths, and I'm just yeah, I don't know. The end.
Are those the same type of fish? Like, have you seen those videos of people that go and like put their feet in like a pedicure thing, but it's the fish like eat
Yeah,
the dead skin off? That's disgusting. Like,
that is
if you do
disgusting.
that, you're gross to me. Don't
Yeah,
tell me you do it.
yeah.
But I wonder if those are the same type of fish. Like,
No,
no?
no. Bluegill, like sunfish, right? Like, um, I kind of got brought up a little bit, but I accepted a new position in Web3, helping out Chris Vaughn, and
Yeah, buddy.
it's been really fun. I mean, the team I was on before, I loved them all, but they were just all very structured and they had everything they needed, and my role was pretty minimal. They wouldn't say that probably. They would say that I was important or whatever, but like like Chris like doesn't have a big team around him, and there's just things that I've been able to kind of jump right into. Um, it's been a lot of fun. I love Chris. I mean, we all do. Like if you've listened to this podcast, you've seen the most so far on it, and it's because he's just a great human being. But it's been really fun. What it's worth, in case anybody cares. That's thirsty. I'm thirsty.
Dramatic. I love that you're there. I mean, Dragon and I have been behind you like since day one with all of this. But I think it's cool because in this space, you don't always find your spot right away. Like it's actually really rare to like hit the jackpot. I know Goodfoot mentioned I have it happens, but it's not common. There are times where you just have to kind of keep looking for where you fit and where you're happy. And there is the noticeable difference when it comes to where you're at compared to where you were like a year ago. I mean, you've just, and I know, I feel like Dragon feels the same. Like, we've noticed a difference because you want to be somewhere where you're like valued. You want to be somewhere where you get that ability to contribute and make a difference. And I feel like just since you've been with Chris, that
it's been like
Chris
a week and a half.
yeah, but in that time frame, he has gotten more attention and assistance with moving forward in things. Like he deserves every ounce of attention when there's spaces, tweets that go out, like the back ended like we're gonna host a space, but we're gonna let people come up and chill in a space that's about Chris. That's not helpful. That's not what people come here for. And I've really appreciated your spaces like with Angel. I've really appreciated the effort that has been put in for Chris because he deserves it. You guys are easy to support, and it's just I'm sure Dragon can speak on it too and see and the difference that's been done. Yesterday alone, was it yesterday or
Yesterday,
yeah, when he was trending because of mints. I mean, that's huge.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was cool to see that space go so well. And there was a couple people that came in that really showed up and supported. There's a new whale for Source Code to Freedom, his small collection he has, and that's fine. That's good. I mean, and it just we appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'll say. We appreciate that kind of support. But like, I think there's different ways of coming behind founders projects, right? There's different paths for it. I think something I really realized about myself, because the last team I was on, there's no hate here for that team. In fact, there's only love. Like, genuinely love that team. Spook was on our podcast, and he will be on our podcast again, hopefully. Love Spook and behind him all the way, like just all the way. But like for me, what I can like, I really do enjoy when someone like Chris Vaughn, it's to be highlighted and lifted up and seen because the quality's there. The product is Chris, and he's a sellable product. Like, not to be so like anesthetic about it, but like he's the whole package of a person. He's not just a great developer. He's not just a great artist. He happens to also be a great person. Mm-hmm. And so it just makes it easy. And so like it doesn't, like, for me, like it's not even like I'm doing that much. And I've had a lot of support. Like Whiskey, you supported already, and big ways. Um, and but just like just by creating that system to where he can then be seen is all it takes. And we saw that yesterday with we started I think at 182 mints and we ended at 211.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's awesome.
that's amazing. Honestly, you feel more like a project manager than a community manager. You just have like really taken the role and just thrown yourself into it to have the best interest of his projects and him in the forefront, and that's so important for founders to have that people are genuinely there for the right reasons, and I'm just glad that Chris has that. Dragon
And
left. I think we bored him.
he's got great people too. I mean, shout out to Angel.
Yes,
I know there's
love
also
Angel.
I know that there's a lot of other variables in the project. Like he's doing that's not necessarily related to the NFT project, but the NFT project will benefit from it, like a fashion brand. And there's people like Carrie who's doing that in the background, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But like it's cool to have someone like Angel too, like just to I getting to know him more and more, and he's got such a cool perspective on the world. And self promotion is something that I hate in this space. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like it. I think it's dumb and unnecessary, and it doesn't even like get you very far. I actually had a Twitter exchange. I won't say his name, but he's a really high profile guy. We were talking about clout and we were talking about ego, and he was defending the case for ego, and I was like, we just got into this back and forth exchange. Eventually, I just quit because I was like, you just have ego. You can't even talk to you. But like Angel truly is someone that doesn't have ego, and he just but he and because of that, he gives some of the best feedback that I've ever heard someone give in this space. He like goes to Chris and be like, Chris, how do we do this better? This is a problem. And when he says it, it's like not a problem. Like, thank you. You almost like thank him for it because of his humility, and that's just super cool. And Chris really does have the whole team around, and I feel lucky to be a part of it. Um, yeah, yeah. And I'll just say this: I'm going to show one thing. If you don't hold any of his stuff and you want to know how to like make NFTs or you want education, by being a holder, you can get that. So I mean, I'm just going to shamelessly plug it. Like he's got 2 collections right now that he's minting. One is extremely cheap. The other is a little more, but it's not that expensive. And
it's still cheaper than it was.
Yeah, yeah. And it gives you access to him. Plus a lot of other stuff too, but like we're gonna have a 4-week course that's gonna teach you and provide all the resources to create your own NFT collection. And so if you are interested in this space and you want to know how to do this stuff, you should mint before it's too late. We're about to mint out of the cheap one, so you better hurry up. But I'm just gonna that's me. I'm shamelessly plugging. Obviously, all this is not financial advice.
Yeah, it's our podcast. We can say what we want, right?
It's our podcast, but yeah, that's been fun. And yeah, I appreciate you too, by the way, because both of you have been.
That's okay. We talk shit about you behind your back, but to your face, we're really nice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you talk shit to my face too.
That's true. We try to keep it fair. If anything, I try to be a fair person. If I talk about you behind your back, it's probably because I've already talked about you to your face. So
that's why we have a "I'm sorry, Neal" sticker.
Oh my gosh,
that is the best. Yeah,
I hate it.
Sorry. I feel like we need more stickers. Like this podcast is just going to continue to have more and more.
You should join our Discord too. By the way, because it's
Discords
super fun.
Need to be joined.
I'm not gonna say who it is, but our guest next week, I'm really excited for. I've become a big fan of this person. Like I've been getting to know them for like about a month and a half now, just like a little bits at a time. And I was cool to see that person come into our Discord and engage with it and like do the truth or dare, the counting channel, like all this like fun stuff. For those that don't know, our Discord's a fun place. Like you can come and just have fun. Honestly, like the truth and dare, it gets a little weird, especially if drinks were involved. The confession channel is sometimes an uncomfortable place.
It can be. It can be. Some like there's like a whiskey simp, and at first I was kind of bothered by it. Like who is constantly making confessions about whiskey all the time? But then the more that they do it, I'm like, oh, I like you. Like, because sometimes they say stuff and it's like, oh, you're so sweet because I needed to hear that today. So it's not like creepy stuff, but it's just like you're trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah.
But I have to give a shout out to one person who like has genuinely shown up in Misfits and Chaotic Exposure. Snow he comes from the Sevens. And we love the Sevens. He has been amazing with his engagement. And like he didn't even own a Misfit for the longest time, but he was in our Discord every day. And then he supports our podcast. Like he comes in and engages with us every day in there. And he's so much fun and he's so freaking adorable. Like I just love Snow.
Isn't he like
He's just-
Norwegian?
He's
I feel like
Brazilian. No.
Dragon
not.
has had a conversation with him about this.
I think he's in Europe. That's all I know.
He's smiling because the conversation was like, "Is that in Russia?" And Snow's
Yeah.
like, "What?" Like I don't even remember the conversation, but it was so funny.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I was
it's like
messing around with
Norwegian
him.
or like Swedish or like that. I think it's like Viking world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember he was saying Vikings and I was like, oh, so you're Brazilian. You're like closer to the equator.
Oh, he really is. I love Snow. He's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Also, Mallory's wife is a riot.
Yeah. And Maori's one of our Misfits who is like our head villain. Like he's been in since like the very beginning and just like obsessed with the villains. But his wife joined us all for poker.
My gosh.
She trolled him so hard. It was so fun to watch. Like
Did you? I'm not gonna say it on the podcast, but did you see
It
what
was funny.
Mari said to her about where she should sit? I won't say it anymore.
No.
Oh my gosh! And then she was like, "Oh my gosh!" It was the wildest thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh
I think it's cool the people that are like starting to kind of come back around and engage, and then like the new people, and that's something that's been kind of cool to watch. You know, like we've all come in at different points, and so we've all seen the growth. But from Genesis to now, there's been ones that have left, ones that are still around, but have had like IRL stuff that's taken them, you know, from being as active and stuff. But we genuinely over like the last 6 months have gotten a crap ton of new holders that are active. They're genuinely active. And that excites me because
part of the community.
yeah, I mean as a project you want that attention, but you for this one I want it for the right reasons. You know, I don't want the hype of people buying and selling and all that stuff all the time. There's good that comes with that, but like this project's different. And I think we know that and we see it, so we just want like genuine people. But I did a giveaway a few days ago for like just trying to get the community to kind of like engage with thanking Tom and Alex for all their work and stuff. Just little ways that the community can like communicate with them as like a thank you and kind of get their attention by all the notifications. And the winner that won this Trixie DM me and was like so excited and said that they have been wanting a Misfit since they saw mine. And I was like, oh, it makes me so happy because I have given away so many Misfits. And I saw that once I had all those unrevealed. I'm like, oh, I'm down to like 6 Misfits because I've been giving so many away, which is fine. You know, I'm not going back on that. It just when you give away and you see them like on the floor for like 0.0 whatever and you're like
It's depressing.
you know, you just kind of had hope that people would join in and stick around, but it was really rewarding to have that DM because that's what I do it for. I want people to at least have a reason to come in and find a reason to stay, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. And it's like, especially for you, you're the community manager, you know, like you want to build the community. You do all of this to give us a home to be in. You know what I mean? Like really like, and I've had my fair share of being sad over like people not support being with you that you try to make with you, and like seeing them on the floor is always tough. I just bought one the other day that got put on the floor for, I'll say, sad reasons, in my opinion. It just, I get it. And if you get an NFT from me, or if you come follow me to an NFT project or whatever, it's your business. It's yours. Your seed phrase, your NFT, right? Do what you want. But I get what you mean. It just gets sad to see people go.
Every time I'm ready to ask Dragon a question, he is gone.
Yeah. This week is just us.
I think the listeners listen for Dragon and they're like, this episode sucks.
No. But we don't have a guest. It's going to be short. Holidays. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But it's been so long. I feel like we didn't even get to half the stuff that's happened since we've recorded last.
Yeah. It's kind of good that we had what we had happen. Which I'm gonna ream it because I feel like I can. We were supposed to have someone on yesterday. And because they are in a different country, I'm not gonna even specify because he got his times mixed up, and I knew that it would happen. I just knew it. I literally sent DMs multiple times, reiterating the time. And the three of us get up, we get situated, we're ready to go.
It's early. Dragon's
it's early.
Up at 6 a.m. his time.
Yeah, and he was sick. So if you're listening, we're totally digging on you a little bit. We still love you, and we're not gonna list our NFTs because we're a little butthurt about it. But they did not come because they got the time wrong. So, because we still love them, they will be on in a future time. But it kind of worked out too because we did have a lot of stuff. Dragon's back. Dragon, do you have anything that you want to go on about?
No. I'm a boring person.
Whatever.
I just I can't wait for snow. I want snow this year.
Come and take it. It snowed for. Oh, the person?
Doesn't it get confusing when we talk about snow?
It snowed for 2 days straight. I want
the physical snow.
Do you ever get snow, Dragon?
It's every 2 years. But I'm in the top of the valley of California, so the mountains are not that far, so there's always snow around. It's just it doesn't come down at my house. Only once every 2 years, 3 years.
So enough to get a little bit and like it, but not enough to where Neal is.
Yeah.
Neal looks like an angry old man because of it, unless that's just the way his face looks.
It's miserable. I have to go here very soon.
We're kind of up anyways.
Yep. I have other obligations for my day. But no, I really like you two, by the way.
Okay.
That's a great weird way to end this.
I wish I could say the same thing for you. No.
I thought I'd be a little weird. You guys are great fans.
Oh my gosh, you too. I don't know what I would do without you, but we're not going to get weird. We're just going to end it. This was episode 11. We'll be back next week with a guest. And we're sorry that you had to listen to just most of the time, but Dragon, do you
snow? Send me nudes.